Hello guys, how are you today? My name is Abdul Aziz Ahwan from Indonesia and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to continue our previous video, and in this video, we are going to insert a data to our table in our database. So let's open our previous project. So this is our previous project, and right now we need to create a new data file inside our repositories. We name it as repository, and we create a new class and we call it repository. And the next step is we need to call our database connection class, and we name it as database connection. And the next step below that, we need to initialize our class, and we call database connection and assign to database connection. And below that, we need to create a static database and we call it database. And below that, we need to call future and we assign database right here and get database, and we make it as asynchronous. So inside this, we say we use if to check if our database is not null, we need to return database. And below that, we assign our database to database connection and we say set database, and we need to return database. And the last but not least, we need to create a new method and we name it as insert data, and we provide two parameters. The first one is table and the second one is data. And we make our method as asynchronous, and inside our method, we create a new variable, we name it as connection, and we assign to a white database. And below that, we want to return, we use insert method, and we want to return data. We use two parameters, table and data. So the next step is we need to go to category service. And in the previous, we have create method called save category. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to call repository and we name it as repository, and we need to initialize our class and we call repository assign to repository, and go to our save category method, delete the previous, and inside that we make it this method to be asynchronous, and we need to return repository, and we want to call insert data, which is this method is available on repository class, and we want to call our table name, which is categories. We can check in database connection in our repository. This we can copy this, paste right here, and we want to provide parameter data, which is the data is map. So before that, we need to go to our model and open category and open again database connection, and we see in our table we have three columns: ID, name and description. But when we see on category, in category we just have two variables, name and description. So we need to create a new variable, we name it as ID. So to mapping our data, we create a new method, we name it as category map. And inside this method, we create a new variable, name it as mapping, and we assign to map and string dynamic. And we say mapping, we want to map ID, assign to ID, and then mapping name with square bracket name, and the last mapping description we assign to description. And the last but not least, we need to return something when we call this method. So we need to return mapping. So the next step is we need to go to category screen, but we see warning in our category service. So we call category and we call category map method. And don't forget to provide semicolon. So we go to category screen, and in the previous we have assigned controller to our category name, and right now we make our on press to be asynchronous, and we assign variable right here. We name it as result, and we need to print result. So let's run our app. So let's go to category screen. And let's fill inside categories form. Press this save. So we see error right here. The error says table categories has no column name description. So we go to database connection. I think we have typo right here. Run again. Go back to category screen again. Let's fill in categories form. And let's press save. And now we can see result 1. It means this is our ID. So we have successfully insert data to our table. So our error because we have typo in our table name. So make sure this and this equal with our mapping, ID, name, and description. And if you have error, try to uninstall your app, because when we install the app, it will automatically create a database. And when we wrong name, or when we typo in our table name or in our column name, it will be error. So if you have error like the before, you can uninstall and restart the app, and I think it will be solved. So I think that's enough our video today. See you on the next video.